All right, Janet, you ready? Hey, y'all. Welcome to our Stacked Coaching office hours. If you're watching on Instagram, feel free to comment, ask questions, and we will answer them. If you're in the Zoom, it's good to see you. So let's get rolling. All right. Janet's in the Zoom right now. So, Janet, what is your question?
My question is how to find out the calories with the protein versus the fat.
Yep. Yeah. So Janet's question is how to calculate your calories based off of macronutrients. Super simple. There are 4 calories to every protein, 4 calories to every carbohydrate, and 9 calories to every fat gram. So if you eat a diet that is high in fat, it'll push your calories normally past the limit. And people that, unless you are weighing and tracking everything and like on a keto specific diet, and not everyone on keto is actually on keto, but for those of you who are actually doing keto to the letter, you're weighing and tracking your food, so you're low carbohydrates. But most of the time, people just tend to eat high fat, moderate carbohydrates, which means your calories are through the roof. Because when we combine fat plus carbohydrates, it tends to make highly palatable foods. And highly palatable foods means we want to eat more of them. So unless you have super amazing and great habits built up, you have a hard time monitoring that. So it's good to know. So the reason with Stacked that we tend to limit your fats more is it's a very easy diet to navigate socially and at home. And for people like us that work out often, right? More than the average person, all of us here in the Zoom, if you're following on Instagram, we probably all work out more than the average person. Our preferred fuel source is going to be a carbohydrate. It makes us feel better when we work out. So if we can limit our fats, then we can limit our calories. And if we just follow that, then we can maintain a weight that we might desire, right? Because at the end of the day, if you expend more calories than you take in, you lose weight. The opposite is true, you gain weight. So, is that helpful? Cool. All right. I want to get to Marna's question. Marna Brightson had a question in the Facebook group, and that was, let me pull it up here. Marna said, what do you think about Smoothie King? I've been having the 20-ounce slim and trim veggie, probably good, but on a treat basis. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for all of us here. All right. There is her question. Now I'm going to pull up. I actually went to Smoothie King's website and pulled up all of their smoothies. And thank you, Smoothie King, for having all your macronutrients and ingredients listed, your nutrition information. That is super helpful. All right. And I pulled up the 20-ounce slim and trim veggie smoothie. Okay. And what we see in terms of their info is 2.5 grams of fat for a 20-ounce slim and trim veggie, 46 grams of carbohydrates, 15 grams of protein, for a total of 240 calories. All right. So my question for Mona, and she is not in the group right now, but my question for her is, what would you be hoping to get out of the smoothie? Right. So if it's your meal and that fills you up, it could be a decent option. All right. And by decent, I mean, let's say it is a meal. Okay. Let's say this is Marna's meal. All right. Marna's is trying to get anywhere from 105 to 115 grams of protein a day. Okay. So if this was her meal, Janet, Terry, I'm going to ask you all, since you are in here right now, if this is your meal, is that a good option for her?
I go no, the proteins are not high enough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, protein's not high enough, right? And it's definitely not high enough in terms of the distribution to carbohydrates. Fat's nice, 2.5 grams of fat. Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Okay. She will probably still be hungry after drinking this smoothie. Okay. And I can't answer for Marna, she's not here. I know I would be. All right. Now we're all a little bit different. But let's say you have this and you have a chicken breast with it, right? Like you had a chicken breast plus this smoothie. It's probably a perfectly fine meal. You're probably full. It's a good distribution. If you're having a chicken breast, you're adding about another 20 to 30 grams of protein on top. All right. Putting you anywhere from 35 to 40 grams of protein, 46 carbohydrates, 2.5 grams of fat. You're probably looking good and you're satisfied from that meal. Okay. Now, Marta didn't ask that question. She asked specifically about the smoothie. So I did go and look up some other smoothie options. All right. And I just wanted to show everybody some different things about the Smoothie King menu. And I can tell you this is that, let me see here. Cool. No one's trying to get in. It's not great. There are some options here that it could really mess up your day. All right. So let's go through them. Okay. All right, here's the first one I pulled up, the Hulk, whether it's the coffee, the bananas, or sorry, like there's multiple different Hulks, but this is the gist of it. All right, ingredients, bananas, cold brew coffee, that sounds delicious. Turbinado, fancy word for sugar. The Hulk blend, butter pecan ice cream. All right, 640 calories, 22 grams of fat, 104 carbs, 23 grams of protein. This is for a 20-ounce drink. That's wild, okay? Who might the Hulk be for? All right, there are people out there that should probably drink the Hulk, all right? For one, if you're a power lifter, you're trying to bulk, that could be good for you. The protein is probably not good, right? Like if you're trying to bulk here, we want to add another scoop of protein to that. That's one thing you could do. The Hulk is good for someone that's maybe struggling to put on weight because they're recovering from surgery or disease or something like that. Someone that has issues with putting on weight, the Hulk is good for this. For weight control, body recomposition, normal everyday activity, the Hulk is not a good drink for you, for anyone. Okay. Unless you're one of those specific people that we just talked about that is trying to put on weight, struggles to put on weight, I should probably go buy this and give it to my 5-year-old. That would be good. All right, I'm gonna pull up another drink. Okay, this here we have the Gladiator. Okay. I like this drink, the Gladiator. 230 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, 5 grams of carbs, 45 grams of protein. This is a nice option. Okay. Janet and Terry. Okay. What do you think about this option?
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I think. This is a nice supplement. This would be like if you're drinking a protein shake after a workout, right? Like this is a good option for that. Like instead of getting one of the drinks out of the fridge or making your own protein shake, if you scooted over to Smoothie King and got this is a good option. This is a supplemental drink. All right. Now, if we wanted to make it a meal for Marna or a meal replacement, Janet, what do you think we would have to do?
For a meal replacement?
Yeah, like let's say somebody wanted to have this instead of eating.
Well, I think you need more carbs. I mean, I would probably, the protein looks good, that looks good, but I would maybe probably eat some vegetables or something with it.
You could do that. You could also have Smoothie King throw in a banana, right? We throw in a banana, throw in some other fruit. They have options there that probably taste pretty good. And now our protein to carbohydrate distribution is a little bit better than this. So again, the Gladiator is good in terms of a supplemental drink, post-workout shake, that type of thing. In terms of a meal replacement, probably not. Okay. We would definitely want something that has a better distribution of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. All right. And finally, I pulled up the original high protein chocolate just for kicks and giggles here. All right. And we have 400 calories, 12 grams of fat, 44 grams of carbs, 30 grams of protein. In terms of a meal replacement for someone like Marna, what do you all think?
I mean, as a meal replacement, I would go with, it's probably not bad, but the fats may be a little high, depending on where she's at in her day.
Yeah, I like that answer, Terry. Depending on where she is at in the day, this might be an appropriate drink for her. She'd probably feel pretty full after drinking this, right? It's a nice distribution. Typically, for most people, our carbohydrate goals are higher than our protein goals, okay? This is almost a third of the protein that Marna requires and about a third of the fat. So for her, this is a really good option in terms of meal replacement. And that is the original high protein chocolate smoothie from Smoothie King. So I hope that was helpful, everybody. I like doing this kind of thing here. Would appreciate more questions like that. Terry, do you have a question?
Not this week that I can think of offhand.
All right, great. I want to talk about one more thing before we get out, and I just want to put this on everyone's radar. We'll talk about it a little bit more next Thursday in the office hours, but that is metabolic adaptation, okay? And what is metabolic adaptation? And it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. One of the reasons why I've been thinking about it a lot is when two things that we see in our coaching program is someone that is overweight that comes into our program, they start tracking and they're tracking their calories at about anywhere from 1,000 to 1,300. Okay. And you look at that person and people might wonder, there's no way that's what they're eating. There's no way, right? But it is. And what happens is if we eat at that deficit long enough, two things will occur from that. Okay. The first is our energy levels are going to go right down the shitter. Okay. And we'll be sedentary most of the day. And what I mean by sedentary, you're not getting up to walk the things. You're going to be sitting still. You're not fidgeting, not blinking. All those little movements matter and burn calories. That's our NEAT, remember, our non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Okay. And then the other thing is our metabolism slows because our body thinks that it's not getting very much fuel. So it's going to learn to operate on very little fuel. Okay. So it's why we never want to eat in a deficit for too long. We want to move that number. Okay. So typically in stacked, we do that with a very strategic plan of increasing calories over time in a very specific way. But the reason why I bring that up is when you get targets, okay, it's super, when you get targets, it's super important to eat the calories, right? Like a lot of people want to eat under their targets, okay? But what ends up happening is you are just keeping your deficit down, right? Or what we need to do is increase your energy levels with your calories, which will boost your maintenance point, okay? And maintenance point is movable, right? So at some points in my life, my maintenance calories might be 2,300. Some points in my life, my maintenance calories might be 26. I have a personal goal right now of getting my maintenance calories up to 4,000 calories a day, okay, which might take a year plus to do that. But that is my personal goal by slowly inching up my calories every few weeks, okay? Why would I want to do that? Well, when I decide that I want to do a cut or get into a deficit, if I cut 1,000 calories off my diet, which is going to drop weight super quick, now I'm eating at 3,000. Rather than if I'm eating at 2,600 and I cut 800, now I'm eating at 1,800, which sucks. That sucks. So that's why, yeah, it sucks for me, right? Maybe not for you, but that's for a lot of people, right? Like a lot of people get stuck in a certain calorie range. I can tell you as a coach, as a nutrition coach, that's why we harp on, are you tracking everything? How accurate are you? Okay. Because there is a maintenance range, but the reality is this, and I'm going to look deep into the camera on this. All right. If you are working out 4 to 5 times a week and you have the energy to work out 4 to 5 times a week and you're eating 1,300 to 1,600 calories and you aren't losing weight, you're not tracking accurately. That's just reality, right? And so when people are wondering what's wrong, like, why can't I lose weight, is there is a disconnect between the data and what we're actually putting into our mouth. And that's super important. So as a nutrition coach, it's hard for us. Like if I have someone at 1,600 calories, quite honestly, there's 2 things we can do. Okay. We can raise your calories up, and now you feel like I can track more accurately. Okay. And then we can bring your calories all the way down to 900. And if there is hardly any weight maneuver in between all the way up and all the way down, we have a problem, right? The scale should move up or down, either way, right? So for us at Stacked, we coach based off of data. And whether that's data in your phone, like taking pictures of your food, or whether that's weighing and tracking your food, we require the data in order to be able to make an informed decision on your diet. So the biggest thing for people, I mean, there's 2 big things, and I've talked about this the last couple of office hours, is consistency, right? But the other thing is accuracy. And it's being truthful and honest with ourselves with what we eat, so that we can in turn try to raise that maintenance set point up, right? Like that's important. Okay. And it's why you might see people in a reverse diet lose weight. We're raising their calories up, or sorry, inverse diet. We raise their calories up and they're still losing weight. Is because the reality is when they gave us that number of maintenance, it wasn't really there. It was up here. And so when we get them to accurately track, they're in a really big maintenance, really big deficit. So that's why it is important to be honest with yourself and truthful with yourself with what and how much food you're putting in your mouth. And I'm talking down to the chicken nugget you just pulled off your kid's plate before you threw it in the trash. I do that shit all the time. So anybody on Instagram have a question? You know, I know we got some people join, Megan, Elise, Amanda Cannon, Joe. If you guys have any questions, just throw it in the chat. Terry, did you have a question based off of that?
No, I'm just acknowledging the fact that I'm really good for, I may not catch every bite that I put in my mouth. Yeah. It's not chicken nuggets, but it's like, I'm used to the habit of, I'm cooking dinner and I snap or taste something and I don't think about what it was or how much it was or writing it down.
Yeah, it adds up. It adds up over time, for sure. And you know, it may or may not affect you, but if your weight's not moving, you got to look at something. You know, you're not broken. Very few people that can't lose weight is it is actually a hormonal issue. Everybody likes to blame their hormones on them not being able to lose weight. The amount of people that is actually hormonally related is such a tiny amount compared to the people that just have no idea what and how much food they're putting in their mouth or being in a caloric deficit. That's the reality. So, all right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed these office. Oh, what, Janet, you got a question?
Yeah, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I bought a new scale, weight scale, and I was just wondering, I noticed it's a little different than my other one that I had. And I was wondering, are all the scales trustworthy? Like, so this one's glass and it's flat. And when I put like my turkey on it, it'll read something, but then it'll start just going up and up and up. Like, I mean, if I just touch it. And so I have to take it off and then I re-put it back on. And so.
Okay. I don't know, Janet. Well, here's what I want you to do though. I want you to take a video. Take a video of that, okay? And what the scale is actually doing with your phone, and then Voxer it to me.
You got it.
All right. I wanna see. That's wonky. So all right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll talk to you soon. Get stacked. Oh, challenge. August 27th starts Saturday. We got 2 days left. If you haven't joined, check it out. If you got more information, go ahead and DM us. Talk to you soon.